Happy Sunday, guys. This is your girl Koya coming to you again with a video, hoping that it can encourage some, and like I always say, cause others to think maybe about their actions and what they're putting out there. What are they showing and exemplifying, to the world? So just, coming from church on an extremely high, spiritual high, of course. Our minister at the Fifth Avenue Church of Christ here in Tampa, Brother Joe Tucker, it was such a awesome message, and my soul just rejoiced because honestly, it was like God saying, here's your confirmation. Koya, here's your confirmation. I know you're a person that's about stability. I know you're a person about having faith and exercising it, but you find so much joy when I show you that you're in the right direction. And I thank him for that. I love the Lord for that he knows what we all need, and he is always willing and able to give us what we need. Not necessarily what we always think that we want, but definitely what we need. So I don't want this video to be too long. It was just some key points that I definitely wanted to discuss really quickly in the message today. So it came from 2 Corinthians 4, 1 through 12. And I love some key points in there. One, and I know people have heard me say this before, that if our gospel be hid, it is hid to those that are lost. And you know what? When the preacher said that today, it actually made me think about it in a completely different way. For some reason, when he said it today, and thinking about the video that I made the other day, and thinking about how bothered I was when there are individuals that choose to not pray for certain people and say, oh, they're getting what they deserve. I thought about it in this way, that if the gospel's hid, it's hid to those that are lost. As I took it today and understood it today to be just those people who are just not gonna receive the gospel. Because honestly, there are some that just won't hear you. There are some that just won't accept what you have to say. There are some that no matter how plain you make it and how clear you make it and how much information that you show and proof and examples in your life that you give someone, some people are just not going to accept the gospel. So for some reason, when, just hearing him say those words, my mind went to a completely different place than it has gone to in the past. It went to basically, in the end, if the gospel's hid, if there are individuals that don't hear the gospel, that don't receive the gospel, those are the ones that are going to be lost, unfortunately. And that's how we have to do our job as believers. Another point was, you can claim it, but if it isn't given to you, you can't give it to anyone else. And that, just kind of speaks to me in regards to compassion, love. When we take on activities and things that we feel like we're being ordained or God is leading us to that path, whether it be to preach, to teach, to, do Bible studies, to even talk verbally about the gospel. If that gift has not been given to you, to God, no matter how much you claim it, oh, I'm claiming this in the name of Jesus. If Jesus and God do not agree with you, you won't have it. And I think sometimes that's what we have to think about when we want to teach a class, but yet we struggle so much. We struggle with understanding the word, but we want to get up there and preach. And, we struggle with our spiritual life and being just that open book and being that compassionate person that people can come to. We have our temper under control. We struggle in those areas, but we want to be put in positions where those areas are always tested. I think sometimes we need to just, understand and move on and do the things that God has blessed us with the talents to be able to do. One of the other things was perfection uses imperfection. And I love that because we know that God is perfect. Jesus was perfect, the only perfect person that ever walked on this earth. And he uses imperfection though. Going back to just the whole Miss Davis story, and I really said I wasn't going to even touch on this anymore, but, everyone wants to kind of point out the fact that she has been married 4 times. And so who is she to take this stand against who should and should not be married? But I think what we forget sometimes as believers is that God, he uses the most imperfect person to bring forth his perfect plan. He used Paul, who at one point was a persecutor of Christians, who hung, burned, killed, enslaved, and enjailed, many of Christians. He used him. He used Peter, who would curse, denied Christ 3 times, and who could wield that knife pretty well. He used Gideon in the Old Testament. He used him who, he was a robber and things of that nature. He brought down his whole group of men all the way down to 300 and caused them to have victory in this mighty war. That's what he does. He uses the imperfect to get his will across, to get his understanding across, that if God can use me, this imperfect creature, this person that has sinned and done all these things, and he can change my life and make me whole again, what more can he do for you? So I just thought that was awesome, that perfection using imperfection. Thank God for that. I think we need to remember that when we decide to talk about people and to question what they're doing in their works, and having this unwillingness to allow for second, third, and fourth chances, even though we know we serve a God of a second, third, fourth, and fifth chance. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here because this video's, I'm going into 7 minutes now. There's so much more that I want to say. And I'm definitely going to make another video, and maybe tomorrow, and hit on these other points. I love you guys oh so much. And remember, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. God chose you for a purpose. You are still here for a reason. Live up to that reason, guys.